Hey guys, welcome to the Something About Tuesdays podcast. I'm your host, Phoebe Joy. Join me every other Tuesday for a lighthearted podcast to keep you company while you do your thing. Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 2 of Something About Tuesdays. I'm your host, Phoebe Joy, and welcome! Hi! Hey! I'm not trying to start every episode with such an excited hi, but I can't help it. I'm excited. I'm sure after maybe a few episodes you'll get hey guys, welcome back. It's your host Phoebe Joy. I'm kidding. I'll probably be excited every single one. We'll see how far we can get. And it's kind of funny because when I was thinking about saying like hi, I realize I do that a lot, but it reminds me of this video I saw. I think it was a video on Instagram, and I was sharing this with my husband the other day because I was excited about something, and so I was grinning from ear to ear. You know that big grin where you can see like all your teeth and your eyes are kind of closed. Maybe they're squinted. It reminds me of my favorite emoji that I use, the one where you can see all the teeth, the eyes are closed, and that's probably the one I use the most when I'm texting. But I was excited about something with my husband, and so I was telling him about this video I had seen on Instagram of this little girl who I think she was going maybe it was her first day of school. I don't know exactly what it was, but she was excited, I think, about going to school. And in the video, she's jumping out the car, and her dad, I assume it's her dad, they were speaking in a different language, but he was saying something to her, and she was about to leave, and she was waving, and she goes, bye. Bye. And then she does this little dance with her hands and her knees, and she's like, bye, bye. And she turns around and she goes off and runs into the building. But it was so cute. And so when I'm saying hi, when I'm greeting you guys in the podcast, that's kind of what made me think about that, because I'm like, hi. Same level of excitement, you guys, as this little girl. If you haven't seen it, look it up. Look it up on Instagram, or I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find it somewhere. Just type in little girl excited about going to school. Maybe that's how you can find it. And look at that cute little video. You want to talk about something that'll give you a quick moment of joy. That video is too precious. And it'll get you excited. It'll have you going around saying hi or bye and doing a little knee shake like I did to my hubs when I got out the car. So anywho, welcome back. Thank you to everyone who was able to listen to my first episode. It was so exciting and nerve-wracking to get it out there. More exciting than nerve-wracking, I would say. Just because I know I have such a great support system with family and friends, and you guys have been awesome, and you've been encouraging me, and so I definitely deeply and greatly appreciate it. If you haven't had a chance, go back, listen to episode 1. I'm sure you'll get a kick out of it. If it's your first episode, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you enjoy what you hear today. I've said it in episode 1, and I'll say it again. This podcast is simply here to keep you company while you're doing your thing. While you are at the grocery store, while you are out running errands or doing whatever it is that you have to do, whether it's something fun or whether it's just something that needs to get done, I am here simply to keep you company, to remind you of the joys in life, and to just help moments go by a little smoother, a little more fun, a little quicker if it's boring. Just here to kind of keep you company while you do your thing. So I kind of want to start this episode with one of the things that I've been working on or trying to get in the habit of, and it's connected to, why I started this podcast, and the purpose of this podcast is to make it a habit to highlight the joys that happen in life, the things that are planned or even the things that are unplanned. I think, as we go through life, it can be so easy to kind of get bogged down in the day-to-day necessary things that it's hard to kind of think about and highlight those things that bring us joy, where if we would take a minute to think about it or even just to try to appreciate it, we'll find that, hey, there are moments here and there thrown in that can bring a smile to our face or laughter to our heart. And so I personally want to kind of think about those things and think about, how can I think about and highlight those moments in my life? How can I make sure that I'm appreciating those things that are happening, whether it's something that I've planned because I know, hey, this is something that brings me joy. So I'm going to make an effort to put it into my life to make sure that it happens. Sort of like last episode when I mentioned that a few friends and I and my husband were able to get together to have a game night. That was something that we planned to do and we made it happen and it brought joy to our lives. Or even if it's something that was unplanned, something that just randomly happened throughout the day that made me smile. And I have to say, I think those unplanned moments sort of are even sometimes more fun than even the planned moments. And I'm going to give you an example. And I need to kind of preface this by saying, so when you have those unexpected moments of joy, those sort of unplanned moments of happiness, they can be very specific to you, which means not everybody may understand why it brings you joy, and it may not bring joy to everyone in the same way that it does you. And so I say that because when I explain this moment that I had, after it, you might be like, that, Phoebe, that's what brought you joy? That made you smile? And I have to say yes, because of who I am. It was like this seemingly perfect combination of something that I would need to bring me joy and happiness. So let me tell you about this. I was driving in my car, and generally when I drive in my car, I think I've said it before, I have to have something going on, I have to have music or a podcast or just something to listen to while I'm heading to wherever it is I'm going. And in this case, I was listening to music. And if you've ever ridden with me, or if you just have been around me when I've arrived to wherever I've been, and you hear me from a long distance, I like to listen to my music pretty loud. I mean, I like to have it blasting because I like to be able to drown out for that brief amount of time the world around me, drown out my thoughts, only focus on the music, just to really get into it. Now, I'm not saying that I don't like being, sometimes being caught up in my own thoughts and things. I do enjoy my own company for the most part, but there are just moments in time where you just want to drown out everything. I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to think about what's going on around me. I just want to jam to this music. And so there I was. I was jamming to my music on the highway, just going down, getting into it. And if you're really getting into it, you can't help but sing along. You can't help but dance a little bit, get your groove on. Your groove on? What is that? I am not from the 70s. Not that anyone from the 70s, I don't have a problem with people from the 70s. I just thought it was funny that I said groove. Anyway. So I was just jamming, doing my thing. And, normally when you're on the highway, it doesn't really matter what you look like. You're going too fast. Nobody's really paying attention to you. It's when you're on the streets and you have to stop at stops lights and stop signs and you slow down that usually, at least I am a little more aware of what I look like. And so maybe I'll turn my music down a notch. I maybe won't, jam as hard. I won't headbang as hard. I'll just, maybe tap my fingers on the wheel. But this time I was getting into it so much. I mean, I don't even remember what I was listening to. For all I know, it could have been Plus One, like a throwback from back in the day. But I was jamming to something. And real quick, you guys, I cannot believe I just referenced Plus One. I'm sure it was not Plus One, but at the same time, I cannot promise you that it was not Plus One because I have been listening to those early 2000, late 1990s music lately. Just going back and finding songs that I jammed to when I was in middle school, and it's just been a fun experience. But anywho, so I was jamming to my music, and I got off the highway, and I, made it to a stoplight, and I'm still going to town. Normally I calm myself down, but I'm still going to town. And then I just casually, while I'm jamming, singing, look to my left, and the person in the car next to me is grinning just as big as I am, and looks like they're jamming to my music too. And I stopped for a minute. I'm like, oh, I just got caught. But he looked at me and I looked at him and we locked eyes. And for a second, we just smiled and jammed together. And I'm sure he couldn't hear, a thing of what my music was playing other than it was just another human being connecting with another human being saying, hey, I feel your vibe. I get you. Yeah, enjoy this moment. In that moment, I didn't feel any judgment from him. I just had a quick moment of like, hey, we're two human beings. Maybe he enjoys listening to music too, and he understood that sometimes you get in the vibe and the moment and you just go to town. And for a moment, we just had a quick moment of joy. I smiled, I laughed. When it was 2 seconds, because after that the light changed and he drove off and I drove off and we never saw each other again. But for that quick moment, I had an unexpected but really appreciated moment of joy, and it felt nice. And I thought back on it that the rest of that day, and I was like, wow, that was cool, that for a brief moment I connected with another human being over music and enjoying it and having a good old time. And it's things like that can remind you that, even though life, I don't know where I was heading. Maybe it was to work, maybe it was just out doing something, but in the middle of that, I was able to have an unexpected moment of joy, and life can bring those. And for you, you may you may not find locking eyes with a stranger across the car and smiling at each other a great moment for you. You might think that's a little strange, but for me, it was really exciting. I was jamming to music, something that I enjoy, and I was able to connect briefly, but connect with another human being, which always brings a smile to my face. So that's something that I've been working on, something that I want to try to do is just think about and really relish in those moments of joy. And that connects to a couple of years ago, during Thanksgiving. I believe I actually started on Thanksgiving Day. I had made it the goal to write down one thing that I was thankful for each day from Thanksgiving and there on out. Now, I made it very loose. It was just, it only had to be a sentence, because if you know me or if you don't know me, you're going to learn that I love to talk and I love to write. And so oftentimes I can go on and on about one thing. And so I even told myself, I said, just make it one sentence a day. Because, when you start something, you're very excited to start it. You're gung-ho. You're like, ooh, I can't wait to write down everything for the next year that I am thankful for. And then you get to day, 182, and you're thinking, what in the world did I sign up for? Why am I doing this again? And so I didn't give myself a set time limit as to when I would need to have this finished. I didn't say, we're going to do this for a whole year. We're going to write something that I'm thankful for. But I did say I want to do this, and I want to do it for as long as I can. And I think I did end up doing it for about a good 6 months, writing down just one thing, one sentence of what I was thankful for each day. And it was great because I was able to look back on it and be reminded of those things that I was thankful for. I know one of the things I had written down at the time was, I'm thankful for my dad. I had had a rough day, and my dad had encouraged me that day. And I remember writing down, I'm thankful for a dad that encourages me. And while I didn't give much detail after that, when I went back to look at it, I was reminded, you know what, I do have family that cares about me. And I do have a dad who's very good at giving advice, and he's very good at listening and being able to, be there for my sister and myself. And I was very grateful for that. And so I was also able to write down things as silly as, I'm thankful that my cat, rubbed my leg and purred today, because when my cat gives me affection, it makes me smile and it makes me feel good. And so it was little things like that helped me realize that life is good, and it helped me appreciate those moments and just those little things that we should be thankful for and that can bring us joy. And so if that's something that even you want to practice or even you want to think about, feel free to leave a comment. And I've created an Instagram. So if you haven't, go ahead and go on Instagram and give me a follow, leave a comment. I plan to start doing some more and posting some clips on there. As new as I am to podcasting, I wouldn't say equally new to Instagram, but I have had a personal Instagram for probably I don't know, since Instagram first came out, and I never once posted a single thing. And so when I created this podcast, I said, okay, I need to have a space for a community to build. And so I knew there's Instagram, and the podcast that I listen to also have Instagram. And so I created one for the podcast. And so I'm still learning that as well. I know that sounds so like, come on, this is the age of social media and technology. You definitely should have done this before now. But I am still learning, but it is kind of exciting to learn and to do. And I've been using an app called Canva to create things. I'm telling you what, it's been fun. It's been a fun experience. Okay, so moving on from, and I said, look how quick, I'm not trying to transition quickly, but I know that I can talk and can stay on something for so long. So moving on to the next thing that I wanted to touch base with you guys on. So thinking about being thankful for the things that have happened in my life and for finding those joys. One moment that happened to me last Saturday was I had a friend who I just kind of randomly, there wasn't a conversation that prompted this. There wasn't a moment, I don't think, that we had necessarily right before this that made her do this, but she messaged me, she gave me a text, and she sent me a song to listen to, and with the quick message of, hey, just thinking about you, thought about you when I heard this song. She knows how, I guess, music can move me, and so she sent me this song to listen to, and you guys, it just so happened to be the song that I needed. And in fact, that morning, I had just started praying when she sent me that song. And so I turned it on to listen to, and I let it play on repeat throughout my entire prayer time. And I honestly think that it helped, because it just seemed to hit me exactly where I was. And it seemed to have the words for exactly what I was feeling and what I was going through and what I needed. And I'm going to go into that song. In fact, we are going to go into some song stuff here in a minute. But the point I'm making with this, that I wanted to share with this, is that my friend took the time to think of me and to send me something. And so I want to just quickly and briefly encourage you that if you ever have a moment where someone is on your heart and you want to send them something, or you want to reach out in some way, and you have like, maybe I should just touch this person really quick, then just do it. Don't think that, oh, maybe they think I'm meddling, or, maybe they will take it wrong. No, if they're your friend, if they know you and they know your spirit, send the message, send the song, send the quick text. I tell you what, it will more than likely bring a smile to their face than not. And if nothing else, it's always good to know that someone is thinking of you and that someone cares about you. And so as the person who received it, I was very grateful for that. And I kept that in my mind as something for me to be thankful for, and for something for me to have joy for. And to the person who sent it, she knows who she is. I was able to touch base with her afterward, but even if that person's like, okay, thanks, and maybe that's all you get, or even you just get like a thumbs up, like, you did the thing. It's okay if maybe people don't always may receive it in the way that you think they should. As long as you do it, as long as you do that thing that you think will bring them joy, I think there can be some value in that. And I would say it's never a bad thing to be known as that person who can be an encourager, who listens and who cares about other people. In fact, my book club at church, we had started a book several years ago now called Listen, Love, Repeat by Karen. I think her last name is Amen. It's Ehman. And it was basically, it's a fantastic book. If I was going to throw out a book suggestion, I would definitely say to read it. But it's called Listen, Love, Repeat. And essentially, the title gives you the message. Listen around you to the needs of others. Respond in love. Do those little acts, do those little things that make people know that you're thinking about them. And then do it again. Repeat it over and over again. Don't let it be a one-time thing, but let it be a habit. So part of my habit of highlighting the joys is I want to be someone who gives joy as well, which is another reason of why I started this podcast, because I want to be reminded in and of myself to have joy, but I also want moment to be there to perhaps remind other people. And if I can't remind you, then let me be a moment of joy for you. Let me bring a smile to your face in some way. And if nothing else, let me just be a good distraction from whatever it is you don't want to think about. But, whatever that positive thing is that you think about doing, go ahead and do it. Even if it's something as simple as smiling at someone, I would tell you that smiling is probably one of the most underrated, powerful things that a human being can do for another human being. I told you guys last week or last episode. Am I prophesying? Are we going to make this a weekly thing? But I told you guys in the last episode that I'm a teacher, and my first year of teaching, one of the things that stuck out to me was I had a student who had came up to me, and he was telling me about his experience with his previous teacher, and he had said, Miss McGahey, my teacher, I don't think she liked me. She never smiled at me. And she just never smiled. I don't think she liked me. And that touched my heart. Back then I was like, man, kids, they need smiles. They need love. And even as an adult, we need the same thing. There is so much power in a smile. I know for myself, a smile or lack thereof can make or break me. If you are someone who I value, whose opinion matters to me, if you are someone who I see as an authority figure, if you are someone I see as a friend, if you are just someone who I notice in my life, and you do not smile, I feel it. I know I know sounds like a personal problem. I know, but on the flip side, if you are someone who smiles at me, even if you are a stranger, it means the world to me. I love it. It makes me want to smile when someone else smiles at me. And so I would say, even if your thing that you want to do to bring joy to somebody is just smile, my goodness, give people smiles. Smiles are free, so give them out. Hold on, you guys. These are how my thoughts come. Okay, smiles are not always free because sometimes it's hard to smile. So sometimes it may cost you something. You might have to let go of some pain that you're feeling in the moment. You may have to let go of some hurt in order to do it. So forgive me, smiles are not always free necessarily, but they are valuable. And when you give them, they are valuable. They are valuable to the person you give them to, and they can be valuable to you. So that even if the person you smile at does not smile back and take it, the fact that you smiled, let that bring encouragement to you and to yourself as well. In fact, look in the mirror and smile at yourself. Look in the mirror and just smile. Say, hey, you know what? You look good today. You're awesome. Anywho, so smile at someone today. Let it be a thing. Let it become a habit. You know what? You and me, we are going to be in this journey, this community that we have, this community of just you and me, whether it's one person who's come back for episode 2, whether it's, my family, a close friend, whether it's a stranger, we're going to do this thing. We are going to keep this mindset of joy. And I say you and me because it's me. It's something that I definitely have to practice. Please do not think I am an expert at this. Please rest assured and know that this is something that I have to think about and do all the time, every day, which is why I want to share it with you guys. Just, man, the importance of finding the joy is such a huge thing that I have found lately. And so I definitely want to practice that. And if, like I said before, if you've got ways to do it, connect with me, get me on Instagram, let me know how you do it. Let's build a world of joy together. And so, since my friend did mention the song, now we're going to the music segment. And speaking of music, so I feel like I've talked about music a lot this podcast. And after listening to the last one, maybe I have just the one thing that each podcast seems to be about. And the last one, for whatever reason, I know for the first 10 minutes, I talked about food. and I was like, oh my goodness, me and food, they're going to think that it should have been a food podcast. And this next one, you guys are going to be like, music, that's where your brain is now. And I guess so, you guys. I guess that's where my brain is now. But so my friend who sent me the song she sent me is called Joy in the Morning. I mean, come on. You guys get why it hit me, right? Joy in the morning. Come on. What I've been working on, what I've been talking about. You guys know this is the song. And it's been, wow, it has been my jam since she's introduced it to me. And really, I won't say introduced it because I had heard it before, but it had been a while. And when she sent it to me, man, it hit me right where it was. And I really enjoyed the version that she has sent. It's called Joy in the Morning by Torn Wells, and I think Elevation, if I get that wrong, I think Elevation Worship. I know it was with another group. I'm pretty sure it was with them. I know Torn Wells is the like original person, so I at least have that and can give him credit for that. But that version that I listened to, that was a great version. It's really good. If you get the opportunity, look it up. It's called Joy in the Morning. The words are really good. The version with the Elevation Worship, it's awesome. There's this kind of tag at the end of the song. The girl goes, oh, how does it go? She says, keep holding on, keep holding on. So keep holding on. Something like that. I can't, that's the only way I can think of the words if I slightly sing it. Joy is on the horizon. So keep holding on, joy is on the horizon. You guys, that is man, the way she sings it, the tune. I tell you what, if you are going through a dark night and you just trying to hang on for the morning, that's the song to listen to. Go listen to that song right now. Pause the podcast, listen to that song, then come back, leave a 5-star review about how that song changed your life, and just enjoy that song. And so speaking of songs, thinking about the last podcast and thinking about how I talked about food and thinking about how apparently this podcast, I'm talking about music, the podcasts that I like to listen to usually have segments. And so I thought about maybe I should have some segments that are part of the podcast that we do every episode. And so of course I thought about, okay, maybe a food segment, maybe a song of the week segment. But then, you guys, while I could do a song of the week, I don't know if you're anything like me, but sometimes I get songs and when I find a song that hits me right, it is more than like a song. It becomes a song of like the season, like whatever season I'm going through, whatever it is, that could last for like months. That song is on repeat. And that is the song that I listen to in my car, like 24/7. Like that's the one. And so while I do recommend, okay, yes, we're going to make this official. All right. So song segment, my song suggestion of the episode is Joy in the Morning, but my song suggestion of the season, so this has been my seasonal song that I have to say, I think I've listened to it at least once a week for the last year and a half, maybe even 2 years. Yeah, that's how hard this song has hit me and has been in my season. And this song is called Wait on You by Maverick City. And I know some of y'all are like, ooh, we know that one. Look, if you know that one, you know that one. If you don't know it, pause the episode again. Go look it up. Wait on You, Maverick City featuring Dante Bowie. I'm not sure how you say his name, but y'all, the anointing and the depth of this song, it's so good. And the thing is, not the chorus and the verse and things, they're not super like wordy. They're maybe not even super deep, but when you hear it, there's something about it. And really, for me, it's his exhortations and his ad-libs that hit home. And so if you are in a season of waiting, okay, and if you are in a season of you're just waiting for something to happen, whether it's something like a big thing to happen, like you've been waiting for a long time, and then it's been months and maybe even years of waiting, listen to this song. If it's something small, you're like, oh my goodness, I have to wait just a couple weeks, listen to this song. If you're in the waiting room, like to something today, listen to this song. It will, oh my goodness, it will minister to you. It hits right. And when you go to listen to it, okay, you gotta listen to the long version. I don't know if there is a short version, honestly, but I do know I have two parts to the song. So there's the actual song itself and there's the reprise, and you got to listen to them back to back. So, and and it's funny because I'm one of those people who I love live versions of songs. And so anytime I have the opportunity to listen to a song, I like the long extended version because for me, they seem more raw, more real. They may not be necessarily as like perfect vocally wise or even musically wise, but there's just some depth to live versions. Where my husband, I think he's more he likes radio edit versions, and maybe he likes kind of like the more clean, precise, get what you need, get in and out there, get the good parts of the song, and move on. But I love the long ones, and to each his own. I mean, you might be one, your radio edits, there is nothing wrong with radio edits. I personally just love those live, long, extended versions of the song. And it was funny, actually, when I was listening to this song. I'm telling you, I listen to it once a week. So I think just last week, or maybe even a couple of days ago, I was listening to this song. And my husband left, and he went, I don't even know what he went to go do. But then he came back, and he was like, is this song still on? Like, what? What? And I was like, yes. And so I looked it up. And so the song itself, like just the song, is 9 minutes. And then the reprise is another 4 minutes. So the whole shebang is a good 13 minutes long. But when I say it is worth it, listen to the entire 13 minutes. At least your first time through, listen to the entire 13 minutes. If you are one who maybe doesn't quite like slower starts, I give you permission to listen to skip past maybe the first 30 seconds, maybe even a minute, but that's it. You got to listen to the rest of it. You got to get into exhortation. You got to get into the bridge. You got to get into there's so much of that song. It is so good. It is so good. Okay. All right. So that is my song of the season and my song suggestion. That's my segment there. Those are the great songs. And thinking about music, since we're on the subject, I don't know if you're one of those people, but another reason why I really enjoy music is that sometimes and I don't know if you've ever felt this, but if you haven't, like sometimes you don't have the words quite to express or even explain how you are feeling, right? So you wake up and maybe you're in a mood, not necessarily even a bad mood, you just, you're in a space and you're like, huh. But the cool thing is, so sometimes when I'm in that space, I'm like, what vibe am I today? Like, what's my groove today? What am I feeling? I will start going through my songs, my playlist, and just start listening to different ones. And I can be like, this isn't quite what I'm feeling. No, maybe not. And then I'll hit that song, and I'm like, oh, this is it. This is me. This is where I am today. Let me know if you're like that. Tell me I'm not the only one who tries to find a song to match my mood, like to help me define my mood. So sometimes I will listen to songs, because I'm in a mood, but sometimes it's like the reverse. Like I have to find that song in order to know what mood I'm in. Tell me if that makes sense. Tell me if you've ever been there, done that, or thought about that in that way. So music is my thing. And so I thought about this moment. I was talking about it with some friends. There's unexpected joys, and then there's just unexpected moments, period. So my husband and I, we built a house not too long ago. And when we had first built the house, I think this was definitely before they had moved. I don't know if they had painted yet. It was the frame of the house was up, the rooms were up. I do think windows were up, but not everything was painted. I don't think the floors were done. And so around that time, I like to sing. And I don't consider myself a singer, but I do like to sing. And so I was like the acoustics in the house. I don't know if you've ever been to like an almost empty house, but the acoustics were legit. I mean, you could just, like the reverb and everything. It was so nice. And so I decided to go to like in the bathroom specifically. I don't know why. Maybe it was just extra there. And I'm singing this song called No Word But Holy. I mean, at the top of my lungs. I am, because like the acoustics were great and nobody was there. It was just me. I was just there to check out the house and see how it was moving along. And so I'm busting it out, like top of my lungs, getting into it, pretending I'm an acrobat with my voice, which I am not. and stopping and redoing parts, like not even doing it the way that but just like listen, just listening to the effects and having a good old fun time, right? And so I'm just busting it out, just screaming it out, and and I thought I heard something, but I was like, no, it's just me, and so I just keep going. Like I just figured like it's the house settling, you make excuses. And I even think I like stopped singing for a minute, but didn't hear anything else. So I just kept going. Like I just kept rolling with it, singing nowhere but home. Yeah, not trying to sing here on the podcast, but like screaming it out. And after singing, I'm telling you, maybe like 5-10 minutes, just having a good old time. I walk out, and after I walk and turn the corner, there's these two guys. I think they were carrying, I don't know what they were carrying, maybe windows or something. They were putting something in, and they're just calmly just walking. They walked down to the basement, like they were walking in and out. And if I probably would have turned red. I'm African American. I'm Black. And I would always say if I was white, I would have turned red. I think even being a Black person, you probably would have seen a slight twinge of red, maybe burgundy or something in my cheeks, because I was so embarrassed. I didn't think anybody was there. Those little moments where you were just like, oh, I just gave them a concert. It was funny in the moment. And what do you do? What do you do? And they just calmly looked at me and just kept going about their business. But I can imagine like when they were downstairs and hearing me just bust out, like singing on the top of my lungs, not caring how I sounded. Just the looks they probably gave me, the things they probably said. Like, I know when I came out and my look of surprise on my face seeing them, I bet they were like, you want to talk about unexpected joy. For me, it was unexpected horror probably, but for them, I bet they went home and talked about that. Like, and I don't know if that's something that happens to them all the time, but I can just imagine like that's a story to tell. Like, dude, we went to go work, and while we were there, this girl was there, and I guess she didn't know we were there because she was singing / screaming on the top of her lungs for a good 5 or 10 minutes while we were working. And when she came around, dude, her face, I could just picture them talking about it. Like, woo. Anyway, so if nothing else, while I was embarrassed, hopefully that brought a smile to their face, because shoo, like that was embarrassing. But getting caught singing, for me, it was rough, but hopefully they smiled and laughed about it. Hopefully it was something good for them, man. Those good moments. Those just unexpected moments of joy, or moments that make you laugh. Those are the best. I love those kind of happy, good surprises. It's almost like if you watch a good movie that has a twist, like, how when you watch a movie, you kind of, your brain's going with it. Like, you're trying to think about, like, where is this going? You try to almost like catch the twist. And you want to kind of figure it out. So when they trick you, when they have a twist that you weren't looking forward to, it's like it's those moments that unexpected, like, nice, that's good. I love those moments, those unexpected moments. And in contrast, man, spoilers, okay, those will get you. And this is just a random tangent of mine. I've only had a couple of times where I've had some spoilers that really hurt me, but one that I remember that hurt, that I'm obviously still hurt about it, and this was years ago. It was when it's the kids' movie Frozen, had just come out, and everyone was talking about how good it was. They were like, "Oh, this is a good movie," and the music, they're like the plot. It's so good, and I made the mistake of choosing to watch this movie with my daughter and 2 of her friends. And they were young. They were, oh my goodness, maybe 9, 10, 11. They were young at this time, and I made the mistake. And it's a mistake. I know better now. But I made the mistake of watching this movie with them, even though the girls had seen it before. Okay? And if you've ever watched a movie with a kid before, you know what's coming. So I was like, let me watch this movie. Let's watch this movie with these girls. And I'm going to throw it out now. If you haven't seen Frozen, spoiler alert, skip through the next few minutes of the sode, okay? Like, spoiler alert. So we were watching Frozen, and kids, like, they cannot help but talk during the movie. Cannot help, especially if they've seen it. Oh, this part. Oh, this is when the da. Oh, this is when the da da da. And I was like, hey guys, this is my first time watching it, and let's not, let's just watch it and see what happens. Okay. Oh, but right here. And I should have known. But I didn't know there was going to be a twist that I need to be aware of. So while I did warn the girls, like, hey, we shouldn't talk. If you've seen the movie, the Anna, there's the prince guy. The first time he's introduced, and they're singing about, being in love or something and finishing each other's sentences / sandwiches. And immediately the girls were like, oh, he's actually the bad guy. And I like the disappointment, you guys, the disappointment and the angst and the anger that I felt in that moment. I said, are you kidding me? Because I knew what they told me was going to be significant, because the movie wasn't set up for him to be the bad guy. And I did not get a chance to, like anybody else. If you watch that movie for the first time and then him being the bad guy, you might have seen it coming, but it's still like the way, the animators and the directors choose to show it, like, it's still good. You guys, I didn't even have a chance to experience the twist, like with the love's kiss or whatever, and then it didn't work. Like, that would have been so good to see for the first time and just be like, oh, have that, like, that surprise, that unexpected, like, oh, here it is, like, oh, what's going on here? And I did not get to experience that, and I am to this day, like, hurt about it. So yeah, now I know if there is a movie out there that you've heard is good, do not watch it with anyone who has seen it before, because as much as they may try, especially if they're children, adults, okay, maybe you can trust. But if you're good at, like, picking up cues and faces and things like that, don't even watch it with adults. Do not watch it with kids. If you do not want spoilers, if you do not want the movie ruined for you, don't do it. I'm telling you now, just even if you have to watch it by yourself. I mean, it's either find someone who is their first time too, or watch it by yourself and then talk about it later, because there is almost nothing worse. I mean, there's a lot of things worse, but when it comes to watching movies, almost nothing worse than somebody spoiling the ending or, like, the twist for you, because it's the twist that makes it fun. So I love those, like, unexpected, like, wow, those moments that kind of get you, like those unexpected, whether it's a song that you hear and you're like, ooh, I really like this, experiencing others' creativity, or just joy. Like, that can be, those unexpected or unplanned moments are the things that you need to hang on to. And because I can't not just talk about food, an unexpected moment of joy when it came to food this past week or so was, I went to a restaurant called El Nepal. If you are, if you've heard of El Nepal, if you know about it, you know about it. If you don't, look it up. They're popping up everywhere. It's a Mexican cuisine restaurant, and I have been there lots of times. My husband, absolutely loves El Nepal, and we go there all the time, to the point where, I'm not going to say I'm tired of it, but I will say, if there's another restaurant, maybe we could try that one first type thing. But I'd went, and this time I tried something new, and it was good. It was unexpectedly good. I liked the flavors were hitting right. It was like, it was the plain old chicken enchilada. I mean, nothing, it was just a chicken enchilada. But the way they made it, I mean, like, the chicken was seasoned so nicely, which seasoning your meat is huge, okay? For any and every restaurant, please season the meat. Like, if I just eat a piece of meat, that part has to be seasoned. The sauce is not what I'm going for the seasoning. The cheese, the sides, I don't want my salt and pepper, whatever it is. That's not what seasons your meat. your meat in and of itself needs to be seasoned, and then everything else is extra. And so in this case, the meat was seasoned. Like if I just ate the piece of meat, it was perfection by itself. But the meat was seasoned. The sauce had this good, like, I don't want to say tangy. It wasn't tangy, but the enchilada sauce had this good, like, I don't know, bite to it. It wasn't spicy, but it had something good about it. The cheese was on there, and there was like the cheese drizzled on top with the sauce on it, of course. And then, but the cheese was like, it was melted, but also a little crispy. Like it was the perfect combination of melted cheesy goodness while also a little crispy on top. And I mean, it was just, you guys, I wasn't expecting. I just expected. I know, like that's how chicken enchiladas are. Like it's you have your cheese on top, you've got your sauce on top, you got your chicken, but the flavor, it was there, and it was so very good. And so of course, unexpected smile on my face. I was like, this is amazing. And of course, because I am who I am, I didn't just get the chicken enchilada, but I also got the steak taco fajita, and the meat of that was seasoned well. Like the steak was seasoned nicely, and just it was good. And I think that one had like peppers and stuff on it. Okay, as a restaurant, if you can just season your meat and your peppers and your vegetables, like ideal. And it was there. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, so it was so good. And it was unexpected, and it was yummy. And I loved it. And so I was like, this is good. I'm going to enjoy it. And I enjoyed every bite. Now, of course, after that, because it was so good, a week later, a few days later, I said, you know what, I want to go back and I want to get that again. And we did go to, we went back to El Nepal, and it wasn't the same. I know. Like, isn't that the worst when you find something amazing and then you go back and you're like, oh no, like what happened? I don't know if it's different chef, different recipe, but it's not the same. So that's to highlight my point, or my moment of like, man, when you get that joyous moment, enjoy it, because you might try to go back to it and it may not be the same. It may not be bad. It wasn't bad by any means, but it certainly wasn't the same. So I'm still like, that's not going to ruin my experience. I am going to go back and get the same thing again just to see if I can get it again, get that same feeling. But even if I don't, even if I can't experience that first time chicken enchilada and steak taco fajita at El Nepal experience again, I will fondly remember at least how it was. I will have that as a memory. I will think about it and be like, man, there was joy that I had back then, that first time that I had it. And I may not be able to get to it again. I may not ever feel that again, but at least in the moment I got to try it, and it was great. So part of this whole kind of this episode has been about, hanging on to those moments of joy. I'm trying to make it a habit. I want to encourage it to be with others. I want to connect with people in that way. I want to be, have people hold me accountable to finding the joy in life, and to know that, even though you've experienced great joys already in your life, more is coming. You've got more to look forward to. And so I kind of almost can end on that note. I see that I'm getting kind of close to my hour mark. I want to do an hour-long podcast. That's kind of where I'm going, except for the ones where I have guests, because I definitely want to have some guests on here, just friends, you guys, just people to talk to, like not like famous guests or anything like that, but just more people to chat with, and to experience life with you, and to, help you, to keep you company while you're doing your thing. And those I would love to do an hour and a half long, because the podcasts that I listen to, they're lengthy, because I like to listen to them while I'm doing stuff. So I just like to, have it in the background. And so that's what I'm shooting for. But as I, kind of, I guess, wrapping up this podcast, just to think about and to remind you, hey, life can be hard. There can be some tough things, but there are also some moments that are there that maybe you've planned. You're like, you know what, I need to go out and do something. I'm going to go buy the cookie because that's what I want, and that will bring me joy. But there's also those unexpected things that maybe a friend sent you a message, or maybe just a stranger smiled at you. Hang on to those too, and live and enjoy those moments as well. You and me, if we can do this thing together, if we can encourage each other, find joy in everything, that's what it's all about. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Just like the little girl with my hi, I guess I can end on saying bye. Until next time, you guys, have a good one. Hang on to those moments of joy. Be that person of joy in somebody else's life. Smile. I hope you're smiled at this week. I hope something makes you smile. And I will see you guys in a couple of weeks.